Everybody, Ben for the Bonehead podcast, and we've got Blood Bowl rumours. Now, we are always getting messages from people saying, I've heard this rumour, I've heard this, my uncle works at Nintendo and he says this is coming. We get that kind of stuff all the time because we love Blood Bowl, right? We want Blood Bowl news. We're always listening out for Blood Bowl news. Now, Valrak is a 40k channel, and he specialises in rumours for Games Workshop, specifically 40k stuff, and he's really good at flagging up that rumours are lies until they're confirmed. But what Valrak never really does is talk about Blood Bowl, ever. And Budgie Blitzer just pinged us and said, hey, Valrak's dropped a bit of Blood Bowl rumour. And that is unusual and quite interesting, so let's jump across because I'm intrigued. Let's have a listen.
Fantasy, Warhammer the Old World, Blood Bowl on this channel. Is Valrak feeling okay? Listen, I'm already on holiday. I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully you're going to enjoy yourself with these rumours. So I'm hearing Blood Bowl, brand new box set. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be a new edition, a new season. I don't know how it works with Blood Bowl. So Please don't, burn me on the cross if I've got this wrong. But apparently the context inside of that box are supposed to be Bretonnians versus Tomb Kings. Not sure what the models look like, not sure how many models are in there, but I'm hearing a brand new Blood Bowl box that's going to have Bretonnians and Tomb Kings. And with Warhammer the Old World,
and he goes on to talk about some other stuff. Right, okay, but we're just, let's back in the room, please. Okay, so Valrak has had a rumour, somebody has told him, somebody has reported to him, somebody who thinks they know something from Games Workshop, that there is a new Blood Bowl box set coming this year. Alright, let's talk about that first and foremost. We have talked about this a lot on the channel because it's 2025, the last edition came out in 2020, so we're kind of like expecting a new box last year. So we've kind of been waiting, we've been expecting this. There have been rumours about a new edition coming since like the middle of last year, I think, is when it kind of started, maybe even before then. But this is the first rumour we've heard about Bretonnians and Tomb Kings in a box that I think has come through to us. Trips gets some messages from somebody sometimes, but they were pretty on the nose about the Chaos Dwarfs, but I don't think we've heard Tomb Kings and Bretonnians in the box. So, I mean, new edition coming this year, if this is this is a rumour, right? So new edition coming this year, if this is true, that makes a lot of sense. That would be the least surprising thing in the world, okay? We're waiting, we've not had a Blood Bowl release now for a year, so we kind of all been waiting for a release, okay? That makes sense. Tomb King's coming back, again, that's what we're expecting. At some point, we've got two teams of Legend left to go, right? We've got High Elves and we've got Tomb Kings. That makes a lot of sense that we're kind of expecting those two. A rumour involving Bretonnians coming back, like Tomb Kings being in a box set makes a lot of sense. If they're bringing back like Teams of Legend anyway, and they're bringing out a new release, it would make sense for one of them to be in the Teams of Legend. I think we even talked about this when we talked about the rumours before. It's like, what are we expecting in the next edition of Blood Bowl? Yeah, like Tomb Kings or High Elves in the book. I'm not going to lie, like I kind of was expecting either Tomb Kings and High Elves being in the box, or neither of them, like they did with 2020 when they brought out two brand new teams. So a rumour about Bretonnians coming back, that's really interesting. We've had some fun rumours this year, like around the pitch size is going to be changed, and Chaos Renegades are being removed and stuff like that. Bretonnians coming back is a really interesting one. As a rumour, I don't know, man. I don't know. They kind of replaced them with Nobility, which I would argue are a more interesting team. So they kind of did this with Khorne, right? There was the old Demons of Khorne team. They brought Khorne in and kind of got rid of the Demons of Khorne roster. We had Bretonnians in Blood Bowl 2, and then they brought out Nobility because you had the Stand Firm guys, you had the Fend guys, you kind of had them like the catchy blitzers. It kind of replaced Bretonnians and added a bit more in the way of a big guy and just like a different team, almost a worse team because the average age was lower, but they brought they brought Bretonnians into the 2020 version with Nobility. So if this is a rumor that's true, bringing Bretonnians back when you've kind of already replaced them with Nobility is going to be really interesting. So I would expect, like, if we saw that come to fruition, would that be replacing the Nobility team, or would just Bretonians come back like way different to how they were in Blood Bowl 2. Like, that would be really interesting for me. Tomb King's coming back. Look, we're waiting for it. It's one of the 2 teams of legend, so we're kind of like, we were expecting to see this. So I don't know. This is very interesting to me. I don't know what to think about this. This is a really interesting one. Tomb King coming back makes a lot of sense. I hope we keep the 4 mummy guys because they are wicked. That's kind of what the team does. But if they bring back Bretonia, I mean, we kind of talked about whether they would put a new team in the box if they did another box, and it seems to make sense because I mean, we talked about this on the pod, right? We kind of expect Games Workshop to want to keep the teams of legend kind of not necessarily slow them down, but what we've kind of seen is like they've kind of gone, here's a new team, here's a team of legend, here's a team of legend, here's a new team, here's a team of legend, here's a new team, kind of like they've mixed it up to kind of not drag it out, but kind of to keep us guessing. So them bringing in a new team, which is potentially replacing an old team that they've already replaced, means we've still got High Elves in the wind, which means there's still that team of legend crawl. It's proper interesting. We've been waiting for a while now for any kind of Blood Bowl news. I was kind of expecting a new edition to be landing this year. I mean, hey, we've had the Dallas stuff. I've still got my fingers crossed for some kind of Nova Open announcement, which is coming up end of next week. Okay, my fingers are crossed for that because we talked about this on the pod. Like, if we get Blood Bowl news at Nova at the end of August, then the way Games Workshop kind of takes kind of 2-3 months, that's pretty much the latest point in the year you'd want something to be announced so that it can kind of be out there for Christmas. So that could be it. But the thing is here, it's really interesting that we got this guy who's getting rumours about that and getting rumours to the point where he's happy to talk about something that his audience isn't really interested in. That it's really difficult because part of me is like, that gives it credence. Like, this is something that someone said that he knows is real. But also, Valrak doesn't get everything right because rumours are lies, like he likes to say. So it's a really interesting one. I genuinely don't know what to think about this one. Top down, new box. Would that be exciting for me? Yeah, man. Love a new box set. Assuming they don't change too many of the rules because the edition's in pretty good place. Just get rid of Wildly Inaccurate and we'll be happy. Tomb Kings, love that. We're waiting on Tomb Kings. We want to see if they're going to get some like Scarabs to replace like a kind of Beer Boar analog, or what positionals are going to change up in Tomb Kings. Love that. The rumour about a Bretonian team is fascinating to me because they can't have another Fend stand firm team in Blood Bowl. It's just not dynamic. It's just not ideal. So this would mean either you'd have 2 teams that are super similar, which is risky. It's not unheard of, right? You've got High Elves and you've got Elven Union. Wood Elves aren't too dissimilar. Like, you've got teams that have got the same archetype, but you'd have to have a really good identity. Literally, at lunchtime today, I filmed the Norse Touchline Tactics article. I was just like, do you know, going through Norse, you can see how much identity that team has. If they're bringing back Bretonians, their identity of that Bretonian team kind of got taken for nobility, so I'd be really interested to see that one. So I don't know. I am intrigued and I'm absolutely gagging to hear about what you think about it because that is a juicy, juicy rumour. Anyway, we're going to wrap up. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking.